Confirms former media the Kano State government in its custody. Police nabbed two armed robbery suspects in Ogo. 3 others but Infamo destroys property worth millions of naira in a market in Benin. Good evening, and thank you for joining us. My name is Ayala Balu. The Department of State Services has confirmed that Salihu Tanko Yakasai, former special advisor on media to Kano State Governor, is in its custody. A statement by the Public Relations Officer of Service, Dr. Peter Afunaya, indicates that Yakasai is being investigated over his from the expression here, as wrongly alleged by a section of the media. The Federal High Court in Port Harcourt, Rivers State, has ordered the final forfeiture of the sum of 9 to the federal government being proceeds from sale of a seized vessel. Joy Uzo reports.
The Federal High Court in Port Harcourt, Rivers State, has ordered the final forfeiture of the sum of $919,202 to the federal government being proceeds from the sale of a seized vessel. The court specifically ordered Union Bank of Nigeria PLC Port Harcourt branch to remit the money into the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission ICPC federal government recovery account with number 0020122561028, domiciled at the Central Bank of Nigeria. A copy of the order of the court indicates that the money was lawfully kept in an interest-yielding account with number 0041443133 with Union Bank in Port Harcourt since 2014, when the seized vessel was sold on the order of court following the refusal of the owner of the vessel to show up for ownership claim. A group of bunkers had in 2014 abandoned the vessel loaded with stolen crude oil so as to escape the wrath of the law in the economic sabotage-related offences. Following their refusal to show up to claim the vessel, a federal high court had ordered it to be sold off. However, no one was said to have come up to lay claim to ownership of the vessel, prompting the federal government to apply for forfeiture of the proceeds to it. Justice Ibrahim Sani, while issuing the order following an application by the federal government, directed that the money be paid by Union Bank into the Treasury Single Account TSA and that an affidavit of compliance must also be filed. In Port Harcourt, Joy Uzo, NTA News.
Before it was declared a pandemic, experts at first described it as a droplet from infected animals transmitted to man through close contact. Yes, its origin was Wuhan, China, but it later spread the world over. Joy Kenabakoya in this report takes us through the Nigeria's experience with the invisible tormentor called coronavirus in the last 12 months.
Months before it came into Nigeria, it had moved around many countries of the world, threatening solid economies and causing extreme fear as it killed thousands by the day. With the 2014 Ebola saga still in mind, Nigeria prepared ahead, and on February 27, 2020, this unwanted visitor snuck in through one of the nation's busiest international air travel routes, Lagos. Governments and health experts swung into action. Contact tracing and isolation of likely victims began, all in a bid to curtail the spread of the unfamiliar yet deadly virus. However, it inevitably spread from one infected foreigner to a few Nigerians. It wasn't too long before the first case of death was recorded, followed by another and sadly some more.
Our fourth case is a Nigerian male. He arrived on the 13th of March from Frankfurt to Lagos on Lufthansa.
Weeks later, it finally dawned on Nigerians that COVID-19 was not in a hurry to quit their territory. The nation's health system was challenged. Government had to take drastic actions.
All citizens, in these areas stay in their homes.
Nigeria was practically placed under lock and key, and as the stay-home order persisted, medical experts worked tirelessly to rescue the infected from the jaws of death. A war to flatten the curve was declared. More isolation centers began to sprout across the country. Enlightenment campaigns and non-pharmaceutical preventive measures took over the airwaves. Nigerians were humbled.
It's not been easy. Everybody is suffering it. And when everybody is fighting a single battle, you should be less assured that you get out of it if you are careful.
Impressively, kindness, mostly in form of food palliatives, flowed to low-income families from government, corporate bodies, and coalitions of successful industrialists. Virtually all sectors went to sleep to avoid the sleep of death. It was a collective battle for life. Changes were enshrined and enforced. Protocols for hygiene were outlined. Frequent hand washing, use of sanitizers and face masks, as well as social distancing, became a norm.
This COVID-19 had taught many people to be clean.
Living in Lagos with COVID-19 is scary. It's very scary because you don't know where you can get COVID anywhere, so you have to be very careful.
The determination to conquer the virus was fierce, and just when it seemed like victory was close as cases of daily new infections began to dwindle, the early excitement caused majority to let go of the new normal, which basically meant sticking to safety measures. The consequences hit like a thunderbolt. A second wave strutted in, bringing with it a merciless new variant of the virus. It's been a little more than 365 days after its incursion into Nigeria, and data shows a total of more than 150,000 confirmed cases, over 130,000 discharged, and sadly, over 1,902 persons have succumbed to the disease. Unfortunately also, many more are still dying. Coronavirus is still very much around, but many Nigerians have returned to the old unsafe habits, not minding the punitive measures in place for offenders.
Due to ignorance, some people still don't believe that there is COVID-19.
We should not have a nonchalant attitude towards the various guidelines.
Just be aware that the virus is out there. So whatever you do, stay safe.
With no cure on ground, the one and only hope is the COVID-19 vaccine, and Nigeria is about to take its first delivery.
The vaccines should depart India on the 1st of March 2021 at 10:30 p.m. in the night and arrive Abuja on the 2nd of March 2021 at about 11:10.
Well, for now.
Now, crime. Ogun State Police Command on Saturday morning nabbed 2 armed robbery suspects while operating at Shagamu interchange area of Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. A statement by the police public relations officer in Ogun State, DSP Abimbola Oyeyemi, says 2 suspects, 30-year-old indigene of Delta State Solomon Ogufere and 37-year-old indigene of Abia State Emmanuel Matthew, were of Shagamu Division routine patrol of the expressway at about 1:30 a.m. apprehended them. The fire on the passing patrol team, CPS Okiki Agumbiade. The team engaged them in a shootout, at the end of which one of them sustained gunshot and was subsequently apprehended. The police spokesman added that other members of the gang escaped into the nearby bush, abandoning their operational. Williams stated that the suspect, upon interrogation, informed the police that they were 5 in number and gave other names who are at large as Uche, Arenze, and Uzo. Meanwhile, the Commissioner of Police, CP Edward Ajogun, who commended the gallantry performance of his men, has ordered the immediate transfer of the been proven otherwise by many women. The reason being that of a 32-year-old commercial sex worker, who the Ebonyi State Police Command is finding difficult to comprehend the rationale behind her insistence on selling a 4-month-old son at the sum of 40,000 naira. Chinaza John witnessed the unfortunate scenario. Funny.
Before she was picked up by the Borno State Police Command following a tip-off, she was already looking for a willing buyer to sell off her baby at the sum of 40,000 naira.
We have actually brought her. She had been on protective custody. She told us that she's a commercial sex worker, and she had this baby she's carrying, and she don't want the baby. In fact, she's looking for a buyer. She's advertising for anybody who will buy the baby.
The nursing mother, who allegedly claims to be a commercial sex worker, said her only reason for taking such a harsh decision is hardship, as she intends to use the proceeds to start up a beer parlor business. But is the reason cogent enough, one may ask?
I want to see my baby. 40,000. I want to use it for business.
Though no life is to be toyed with as required by God, the creator of mankind, other Christians begging for answers are, even if a human being was to be sold, is 40,000 naira not paltry enough? Is the sum also reasonable to open up a viable business?
A child that people are longing after. So many people are trying to do so many things today just to get a child of their own. And you that God are blessed with one, you want to do the other way around. The 40,000, what can 40,000 do for her? Is it be a started water business that she wants to start? I don't think that's money can. Seriously, and I would say she's a disgrace to manhood. We have to look at the woman very critically to know whether she's well or not.
Even if maybe you are in a very tight or hard condition, how can somebody think of selling a human being for 40,000 naira? No, it's an abomination.
Efforts are still on to make the nursing mother rescind her decision, as she insists on doing her bid or kill the child and face the consequences.
We have been talking to her, trying to preach her into talking like a mother and knowing the value of her own baby, but she has refused to hear. In fact, she alleged that if we allow her to go home with the baby, she can even throw the baby away. The command have decided to transfer her to Ministry of Women Affairs and Social Development, where their job lies on this kind of matters for further action.
The Borno State Police Command and the respondents are hoping that the State Ministry of Women Affairs will now do the needful.
Still on crime, Imo State Police Command has paraded road girl and his brother in Imo State. Details are presented in this package.
This revelation of betrayal of trust all started with an invitation by the Imo State Police Command for the regular press briefing on major arrests. It, however, turned out to be a pathetic story of man's inhumanity to man. For the family of Vitalis Ibekwe, the 6th of October 2020 will remain indelible as it marked the day their neighbor and trusted friend abducted their children, 12-year-old Chioma and 14-year-old Chema. The suspect, 32-year-old Chibuza Hurumibe, a father of two, who hails from Okohia in Isialambano local government area of Imo State, and Mr. and Mrs. Ibekwe have been neighbors for years. Unknown to them, Chibuzo has been sexually assaulting their 12-year-old daughter, whom he finally abducted in October last year, alongside her 14-year-old brother, to an unknown destination.
We are neighbors. So surprisingly, I got this bad atmosphere. So how can this guy do this thing? When we started looking for my children.
Tell me that he will return them on Saturday. Saturday, I did not see them. He said Thursday, I did not see them. He continued deceiving me, they're coming. He did not return them till today. So from then, I start running helter-skelter. I go to Mbudi police station report.
The traumatized children who shared their experience in the hands of their abductor say he took them away under the guise of taking them to the zoo for sightseeing. The 12-year-old Chioma also revealed that Chibuzo had carnal knowledge of her before his arrest by the police.
This my Chibuzo, this virgin me, and they take us to Olo.
I'm fake. And since then, he's sleeping with me.
You put his speaker out. Anything my mother asks me, he will tell me what I will say. And the day I disagreed to say what he asked me to tell my mom, he off the phone.
The suspect who was arrested at Olu
Review his activities, which were the major highlights in our news bulletin, the Output Week. Now let's join Muiwa Omorumi, who is standing by to take us through.
Minister of Agriculture train youths in aquaculture will be our lead story on this edition of Week. The state government says its various agricultural training programs across the state are targeted at making the state a food basket and, more importantly, to tackle unemployment by exposing the youth to abundant opportunities inherent in the agriculture. Ogun State Commissioner for Agriculture, Dr. Adiola Odedino, stated this at the two-day workshop on aquaculture value chain tours.
Agriculture is about lowering cost of production and increase efficiency so that people will make profit and consumers will also buy at a relatively cheaper rate. So this is the goal of agriculture in Ogun State, to link our young farmers to technology, to input, and to prosperity. This is also very good for stimulating the interest of youth in agriculture. We are also able to support the youth farmers to acquire their own.
This year's International Modern Language Day, celebrated on 21st of February 2021 worldwide, has come and gone. However, Ogun State indigenes have called on government and other relevant authorities in the state to initiate ways to preserve local languages and cultures from going into extinction. NTA News takes a look at the impact of the day on.
Think fast from the way you have been brought up. The language of first experience is what you can use easily, is what you can use to act and to think very fast.
Up above the water, I get diamond in the sky. Akubare ni fẹ̀yìntì, bí ọ̀lẹ là ń rí, bí akubare ni gbẹ́kẹ̀lé, àtẹ̀rámọ́ṣẹ́ ni.
A newly inaugurated non-political socio-cultural movement, Swagger 2023, Southwest Agenda, championing the emergence of a Yoruba president in 2023, has called on Yorubas to support the success of the aspirations across the Southwest zone in attendance.
This Southwest Agenda is to have the presidency come to our land, Tinubu. Too much is given, much expected. We have given much to this country. We deserve to produce the next president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. In the next 1 month, it will be in the 236 wards.
To security reports, the Stakeholders Committee on Security, saddled with the responsibility of monitoring activities in schools for safety of students, has been inaugurated in Nimekwafon by Ogun State government. NTA News report that this is in line with government directives on the need to strengthen security architecture in public schools.
Our expectation from the committee is that they will perform up to the expectation. We've been hearing about kidnapping of children in schools, and we think we're putting this in place. Our God's special grace, they will do the thorough job.
In order to preserve, protect, and secure the stability of the nation's economy, production. This was the fallout of a roundtable discussion at the 2021 World Civil Defense Day celebration organized by the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, Ogun State Command. NTA News report that the Ogun State government's message to the occasion centered on security.
We really must have all hands on deck to ensure that we are able to preserve the national economy.
In as the Nigerian Security and Defense Corps has done well by establishing a unit, a special unit that we call Agro-Ranger, with special uniform that has the color of the forest.
And that's our package on this edition of Week in Review.
That's it on Channel 12 News. I'm Ayala Balogun.